It's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualist, My Asexual Life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as you're enjoying the content as we go along. And if you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life, Sex, A Celebration of Asexual Diversity. Thanks for the thumbs up. I'm also a founder of Asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. And I had the most wonderful night of my life. A dream come true. Finally. God, I'm so happy. I am just so happy. My dream came true. The dream that I've had for a long time, that finally I have an Indian guy in his 20s who is snogging me for absolutely ages, and he couldn't stop kissing me. I'm like, I've just had the most fantastic night of my life. So I spent half of it dancing and then the other half snogging this Indian guy. He did have facial hair, so I'm not a big fan of facial hair, so I've not kissed a guy usually with facial hair. He had a mustache and he had a little beard as well, but it was okay. His hair was soft, so it didn't hurt me, so that was really good. So that's another one I can add to the list, whereas I know now that I could kiss a guy who has a little bit of, some facial hair. It wasn't like a big bushy beard, but it was, here and on the mustache. But yes, I thought to myself, this guy, I saw him, right? It's an Indian guy. I thought he was Indian. And I confirmed it with him later because I said, where are you from? He said, India. I said, oh, that's brilliant. I'm like, yeah. So what happened is this guy walked in and he was just like, walked in and just like looked around him. He had 2 alcoholic drinks in his hand, which, I don't drink alcohol, right? 2 WKDs. And he just had them. And I saw him. I thought, if he's the right guy for you, Sandra, he will just come over to you. If he's the right Indian guy, like, I'm not saying I'm ever going to see this guy again, right? I don't hold out hope like that I'm ever going to see him again. I had a wonderful night. I gave him my number. If he calls me, or message me. That's up to him, right? I've learned my lesson that not to, even though snogging me loads, not to get attached to a guy like that, right? So it's good me going out dancing because it teaches me the art of detachment, that if this guy doesn't contact me ever again, that is fine. I'm okay with it because I just had the most wonderful night in the moment, and it was just great because he literally, it was like, honestly, I couldn't have thanked God or the universe, world and planet. I couldn't have thanked him, or I believe it's him. I couldn't have thanked him anymore, right? I was just like saying to God, like, I was like, if his Indian guy is the right guy for me, I'm not saying it is, but if he's the right guy in that moment, he will literally come over to me. That will be it. And he did. He walked. It was so weird. It's like something out of the movie, right? He walks over to me, right? He walks over near me, really near me, starts dancing near me, like nearly in front of me, but I wasn't sure because there was some other women around. And then he just like looked at me and I looked at him and we just started getting closer and closer. And I was dancing together, and he was like very quite attentive and affectionate in the beginning. I could tell that he really liked me because he was like giving me little kisses and stuff, like on my I think it was like on my neck or something like that. And just like it was just like, whoa, it was like we've known each other for a long time physically, because I told you, like, Indian guys are pretty much the only type of guys I can be comfortable physically around. I don't know why it is, but I honestly believe that my soulmate is Indian. I will never ever stop believing that. I hope one day that I meet my asexual Indian soulmate. If he's not asexual, it might be a bit of an issue because obviously I don't like sex, and to be honest, it would be a bit boring having sex again because it's really not my thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't even aroused through kissing, and I was kissing him for a long time tonight. I really enjoyed the kissing, but I wasn't even aroused through kissing, which is weird for me because I often get aroused by kissing, but I didn't. It was just nothing. It was just like kissing. And it was just amazing though, right? He couldn't take his eyes off me. He wasn't interested in any other woman, wasn't looking at any other woman. He was totally fixated on snogging me, like kissing me, nearly non-stop. All the time. It's supposed to be for over an hour. it was just amazing. I had the most incredible time. And later on, he was saying stuff and I couldn't hear what he was saying. And he said, oh, you're hot. And of course, being asexual, because I don't think of sex, I was thinking, oh, it must mean I'm hot in here. But I actually wasn't that hot physically because I'd been kissing him and not doing much dancing, right? I had been moving around. So I'm thinking, oh, he must think I'm hot, as in I look hot, as in I look good looking, as in sexy, attractive type hot, because I'm asexual, though I don't think like that. And he was just so, it was like he was holding my hair like this and, going like this really gently with it. It was so beautiful. And he would cuddle, like put his head on my shoulders. But it's like he wasn't interested in any other woman. Like when you're with a guy and their heads and their face and their eyes are over other women's, he couldn't give a shit, excuse my language, about other women. All he cared about was focusing on me, on kissing me, on exploring kissing me, like my neck and, different, places that I would allow. And I'm like, because he said, oh, you can touch my top if you want. But I'm like, that's fine. He's going, can I touch? I'm like, no, I don't mind touching yours, but you can't touch mine because I don't like that. So obviously, you've got to have boundaries in place. And obviously with the sexual guys not asexual, they're going to push your boundaries a bit. So you've got to kind of like expect that bit. The thing is, it's with Indian guys, I kind of don't mind so much physical stuff. But there are limits, especially in public. But I mean, like, I was snogging for ages and like other people can do that. They'd be like, oh my God, everyone's watching. But I don't give a toss. I really don't. You have to live in the moment sometimes. You have to live your life for you and you have to enjoy every moment. There was 2 lesbians and they were kissing for ages throughout the night. Like literally full on snogging as well, up against the wall for a long time, like way before this Indian guy got there. So do you know what I mean? They were snogging. And it was good that, there's lesbians snogging. It's not just like the average heterosexual guy, which gets a bit like, like, oh my God, here we go again, and it was just 2 women and they were full on snogging, like eating each other. But, like I can't talk because the Indian guy was pretty much doing that to me. But when he first started kissing me, it was quite sloppy, like, because I don't like sloppy kissing. I like control kissing. But as time got on, he got better and better because he was doing Muay Thai kissing. Because I kind of like when I'm kissing a guy, I'm kissing him back. I'm doing controlled kissing. So after a while, he's got to be like me doing controlled kissing because otherwise it's not going to work. It's kind of like I show him what to do. And it's just amazing, incredible. And he lives in the UK, in my city, and not far from where I live. And he's been working now for 2 years here and he doesn't intend to go home. So that's really, really good. But I'm not holding my hopes up. He was really sweet, though, because when we were going out, he was putting his hand, he was still kissing me when the lights went on, and he would just stay kissing me longer as well. But I had to get my taxi. So I told him, but he didn't care. The lights went on. So obviously some guys, when the lights go on, they can see what you really look like, especially as I'm a little bit older, which he might not have known anyway. So some guys can get a bit like, oh, I've seen you in daylight, but he wasn't like that at all. I mean, he was still snogging me and I'm like, I've got to go and get my taxi now. But I could have just stayed kissing him, obviously, but I thought we're going to get chucked out anyway. And then there was a crowd, right, to get out. And he had his hand behind my back. He was holding my hand a little bit. He was putting my arm in his arm. So he's very, very romantic guy as well. And I just loved the whole experience. Yes, he was trying to push my boundaries a bit. But, they kind of like heterosexual guys do that, And it's kind of like, I wasn't completely uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like uncomfortable, like I didn't want to be around him. It was like, oh, you can touch my chest, you can touch my back, and and that's good because I don't like doing anything to a guy that a guy's not happy with either, because that's really important. Just because you're a woman, don't think that you can just touch a guy anywhere, because it's the same rules for guys as it is for girls. You shouldn't be putting your hands all over a guy unless he wants it. I don't think that's right. So, but he said, he was like lifting his top up a little bit, going, oh, you can put your hands out, or you can put your hands in front or behind. And he liked that, but he's like, oh, can I do that with you? And I'm like, no. And he laughed. He thought I was really funny. He didn't understand that. But obviously he didn't know I was asexual. But, and I didn't tell him because I might never see him again. If he messages me, because he's got my number, he didn't ask for my number. Now, usually if a guy's really keen on you, he will ask you for his number. He will ask you for your number. But because he's an Indian guy, you know how much I love Indian guys, right? I just had to say he can have my number if he wants it. So I said, oh, you know, we could like meet up as a friend or something. I think I kind of like said that to him, like, clearly we're not just friends. But you know, I gave him my number, and he phoned me on this number to make sure I had his, which is a really good thing because he wanted me to have his number. But you know, I want him to now message me if he's going to. I don't want to chase after a guy, you know. The right guy will not have me chasing after him. The right guy will see my worth and he'll be like, I want to see her again. I will message her, you know. It's important not to go after these people, you know, because he might be there every week snogging a different woman. I don't know, do I? Do I care? Well, yeah, if I was his girlfriend, I'd care, but I'm not his girlfriend. I did ask him if he had a girlfriend because it might seem weird, but some guys are not very faithful. I said, oh, do you have a girlfriend then? And he said, no. I didn't say I wanted to be his girlfriend. I just asked him if he had a girlfriend. But he was so sweet the way he was putting his hand on my back to take me in the crowd. And he was like putting my arm through his arm to go out. And he was holding my hand a little bit down the road. And he was kissing me to say goodbye. And yeah, make sure you do get your taxi. So he wasn't like saying, I want to come to your place. He was like, you know, I think this is my taxi. And he said, oh, that's good. Make sure you get in the taxi. And then he waited till my taxi pulled off. So I think, you know, that was really, really good. There was a lot of things I liked about him, you know, and he had beautiful hair and obviously eyes and, you know, yes, he had facial hair and I don't usually do facial hair, but I thought, you know, try something different, Sandra. He's an Indian guy. He's like zoomed in on you straight away. He wasn't even interested. He didn't even finish an alcoholic drinks. He didn't even touch a drop of alcohol while he's kissing me. He couldn't care less. He forgot he had them. They got cleared away on the tables. He didn't even take them out with him. You know, so that's how much he was interested in me. Like, mesmerized by me, like only into me. I mean, just imagine what it's like to spend a night not having sex, but having a guy who you're aesthetically attracted to, who is really the type of guy I want to be with aesthetically and, you know, ethnicity wise and age wise, and, you know, and some of the stuff was really like cute and sweet and romantic. And he loved affection. I could tell that, a lot of affection. And he loved kissing me like so much. He just kept wanting to do it all the time. And it was just an amazing night of my life. And you have to take these moments as like these wonderful, precious moments in life to cherish forever, because I might never see him again. You know, I don't want to message him. I don't want to be the one to message him. If he likes me, he should message me. And the right guy will message me. If he doesn't message me, then I know he's not the right guy for me, right? It was great snogging me. I loved him snogging me. You know, it was great snogging me. It sounds like I snog myself. But part of the evening, I was dancing with myself. I was looking at myself in the mirror and dancing with myself. I thought, this is the most hot date I've ever had with myself. This is the best date. I'm dancing with myself in the mirror. So funny. There was another guy, a slightly foreign guy, I think. I was doing a little bit of dancing, but we weren't really, you know, we didn't kiss and we weren't close. But the Indian guy is so, isn't it amazing that dreams can come true? Isn't it amazing? And I just wanted to share that with you, because if I hadn't gone tonight dancing, I wouldn't have seen him. I wouldn't have got those kisses. But he was up for kissing, because I could tell he was nearly kissing me straight away, because he was kissing my nose and then his lips were going really near mine. But I thought, I want to make sure that he wants to kiss me. But then, yeah, he did start kissing me. He liked giving love bites, though. So I was like, you know, stop biting, because I don't really like being bitten, but I know like a lot of young guys, they do like giving love bites, and my ex used to do that. He was like trying to give me a love bite on my neck, and I was like, oh my god. You know, I'm not really into biting. It does hurt a bit, but you know, it's more like sucking. A love bite's more than like sucking than actual teeth, you know, they're like sucking. But I just loved it. You know, he's literally stalking me for so long. Like, I don't, you know, like if I gave a toss about what other people thought, I'd be like, oh my God, there must have been OMG. But who cares, right? It's a night out. There's other people that go there kissing. Like I said, the lesbians were pretty much there all night kissing. Well, they must have come like maybe an hour into it or something. I don't know. But this Indian guy must have turned up much later. But well, maybe it was like an hour, you know, like, I don't know. I got there really early. I got there before 11 today. So I was there a lot longer than I normally have, you know. And it was just amazing, you know, and I just really loved it. I just really, really, really loved it because he was so attracted to me and it was the age I like, and he just couldn't stop kissing me. I didn't have to beg, I didn't have to plead, I didn't have to like do anything. He just like kept kissing me, and he would kiss me on my nose, which was so cute, and he would do this thing with my hair, which is like this. It was so sweet. And he would hold me close, and it was just so lovely, and he was just super attracted to me. And it was just really nice. It's really weird that I didn't, although he must have been sexually attracted to me, I didn't feel sexual energy from him. Like, you know, I danced with the other Indian guy, right? They're highly sexual, heterosexual, if you remember. That was an Indian guy, right? You could feel the sexual energy with him, like it was quite overwhelming. But with this guy, it was more like affection, romance, cute, cuddly stuff, more mixed in with, obviously he was sexually attracted to me. But I didn't feel like, I felt like he liked my body, but he wasn't actually like, I don't know, I felt like he was good because it wasn't like he was giving all sexual energy. It's really hard to describe it. The vibe I got from him was like he was really attracted to me aesthetically and my body, but it wasn't like, I want sex with you. As I mean, obviously, if I was up for that, he might have done that, but it wasn't like that, if you know what I mean. I think he probably would like to have sex with me, but you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like they're highly sexual heterosexual. And it was just great because I just got to kiss. You know, my favorite thing is kissing, and I love kissing for a long period of time. You know, I'm like praying to the universe, give me an Indian guy who loves kissing me for a long period of time. And there he was, and not even interested in anyone else. I didn't even go to the toilet after that. I never left him out of my sight, and he never left me out of his. Like, we were kissing the whole time, like locked at the lips most of the time. So we didn't like let each other out of each other's sight. We just like full on into each other. I didn't even think, I thought to myself, like, I don't even think about going to the toilet. That was like what went through my mind. And I was like, well, I'm so enjoying it here. I didn't want it to end. And obviously he didn't, because even when the lights went up, he was still kissing me. And it was me who said, I've got to go and get my taxi, not him. But it was nice though, because he was like, oh yeah, you should, you know, it wasn't like come back to my place or anything seedy like that. And like I said, you know, he was putting his hand around my back. He was even holding my hand. I was like, oh my God, I'm holding Indian's guy's hand. And obviously I got to put he said that he liked his skin being touched on his back and his chest. So I got to touch his chest and his back. And I was like, oh my God, I'm touching an Indian guy's back and an Indian guy's chest, which is my dream, because my dream is to be with an Indian guy in a relationship eventually. I'm not saying he's suitable for a relationship, but it was just amazing, you know, because that means I'm getting closer to what I do want in a relationship. And you know, I don't actually see me being with any other guy really than an Indian guy. I just know I've got an Indian soulmate. You know, I'm not saying this guy's him, but I'm saying I definitely have an Indian soulmate. When I'm near Indian guys, I feel safe. It's really weird. Like if I'm out somewhere and maybe I'm not feeling so good about something, all of a sudden an Indian guy will pop up near me and I feel safe and comforted. I must have been with an Indian guy in a past life or something, because it's just so like it's meant to be. Do you know what I mean? And it was just amazing, because I just thought to myself, like, God, if this is you know, if this guy really likes me, he would just come over to me. I was like really spooky, because that's what he did. He came over and there was other women near him, but he wasn't really interested in them. I could tell, because when I turned around, because I wasn't sure whether he liked me or not, obviously. And then he just kind of turned around for me, and then that was it. He wasn't, you know, looking at any other woman. His eyes didn't go, you know, like when you're kissing someone, their eyes are there. He wasn't. His eyes were down at me, kissing me and on me. And oh man, it was just amazing. I had the best night ever. And, you know, I was talking to the taxi driver, they're nearly all foreign. And he was really nice to me. And he's going, oh, you know, he was talking about my night, how's my night? I said, oh, it's great. I got to dance on my own because I love dancing. I got to dance with a guy who seemed really nice. And we had some kissing and stuff. He goes, oh, yeah, kissing and sex. He started talking about sex. I said, actually, I don't like sex. And he couldn't believe it. He goes, yeah, but it's only 2 minutes. You only have to do it for 2 minutes. I thought, God, his poor wife, if he is, you know, like, I'm not heterosexual and I don't like sex, but if I was, I'd want more than 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? The guys that have sex for 2 minutes and shove their whatever in their woman, You know, it's boring for a woman. The woman wants more foreplay and other things. You know, most women can't orgasm through sex anyway. So if the guy's just shoving it in her for 2 minutes, it's like so boring. It's like, is that the best you can do? I mean, I don't have sex, but if I did, because I've had good sex and bad sex in the past, I would expect the guy to do a lot of stuff that I like right before he gets his sex, because, you know, I need to get something out of it, not just all about him. Do you know what I mean? I think that's very important if you're asexual. If you're asexual, it's going to try sex or want to have it, make sure you get something out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you like cake, lick a cake off his chest or something. If it's with a guy, or if you like females, have a cake on a female chest or something. Enjoy like something about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, rather than just being sat there being bored or think, well, is this all there is? It's just randomly boring. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It took me a while to kind of get into the kissing with him, because like I said at the beginning, it was kind of a bit sloppy and all over the place, but after a while he got much better and better. But I wasn't getting any arousal from it, which was really weird, because I usually do. And it was really weird, like, experiencing no sexual attraction to a guy. Like, when I was kissing him, like, for a long time, literally no sexual attraction. There was no urge, neither want at all from me for sex. And I know this is what being asexual means, but it's kind of like when you're in situations like that, and it continues to clarify that you're asexual, it's just a very surreal experience, because, you know, you're talking about being asexual, you're saying you're asexual, but to actually live it and breathe it and be in the moment feeling that you're asexual is kind of a different experience, if you know what I mean. Because obviously I talk about asexuality a lot, but when I'm with a guy who I am aesthetically attracted to, who I do love kissing, who's very physically close to me, and I feel nothing. No arousal, even no sexual attraction. I usually get aroused with kissing, nothing, diddly squat, nothing. And it's very weird. In a way, it's a little bit empty. It does feel like like there's something kind of missing in a way, because it's like there's something I don't feel or experience. But it is what it is, you know. I enjoy being me. I love being asexual. Yes, it does make it harder to find a suitable guy for a relationship, because obviously this guy doesn't know I didn't like sex. I don't think he's messaged me, because I think he might not message me, but we'll see. See, no message from him, but he does have my phone number, so there you go. But you know, I mean, he didn't ask for my number, so that usually means that maybe he didn't want my number. And when I went out with him, they're outside, he vapes. I'm like, what's that? He goes, oh, it's my... I'm like, oh my God, because you know that I can't usually have a guy who smokes. Because last time I got a chest infection for 7 weeks. I haven't kissed a guy who vaped before. So I'm like, I didn't know he vaped. So I'm not sure if my chest is going to be all right with that, and my mouth or not. My mouth does feel a little bit weird. So I have to see over the days how that goes, and if, you know, I start getting problems with my throat or my chest again. If it does, then I know I definitely can't be with a guy with vape, including him. But like I said, he didn't take my number. Now, a guy who usually wants to see you again usually takes your number. So it might be that he just wanted to snog me that night, and that was it. Also, he looked like he had a picture of him and someone else on his phone. So that's why I asked him if he got a girlfriend or not. You know, I'm presuming if he was snogging me and he was there on his own, he hadn't got a girlfriend. And he said, no, I haven't. But there was someone on his phone, but they did look a bit Indian. So I don't know. It could be like sister or friend or something. I don't know. But it looked like his screensaver was him and a woman. So, but, you know, that's the way it goes, isn't it? You know, the taxi driver, you know, is saying, you know, where, you know, it's good to live in the moment. You know, you had some nice kissing. I said, because I said I like the dancing and kissing. It was great. He goes, yeah, you live in the moment. You enjoy the night. That's the way it is. And then, you know, you just live for now and live in the moment. Like, usually I didn't used to be like that. But now I'm thinking, you know, it's so difficult for me at the moment to find a suitable relationship that I'm just like trying to be different. You know, I'm going out there, meeting different guys. Yes, it was like a dream come true. Obviously, if a guy kissed me with no facial hair, that would probably be even better for me. You know, and a guy who didn't vape would be better for me as well. And so, you know, I don't know if he wants kids or marriage or like, I don't even like, he said he hadn't got a girlfriend, but you know, like the screensaver looked like him and a girl. So, you know, that's a bit questionable, isn't it? But anyway, it doesn't matter. You have to live for now. I'm learning to try and detach from people, because I want to detach from guys. I don't want to get into a relationship ever again where I'm so attached to a guy that it really hurts me to not be with him anymore. And of course, any relationship breakup you're gonna get upset about if you're breaking up with them, right? It's gonna be like that. But I want to learn the art of detachment so that I don't have such an emotional attachment problem when I get into a relationship. So in other words, these going out dancing is improving my confidence and self-esteem no end. I can monitor as well, and like I can see what other guys are like with women, you know. I can see where there's good guys, I can see where there's guys who stray from their women. Like tonight when I was dancing my own, there was a guy that came dancing a little bit, and his woman seemed to get really jealous, which I don't blame her for, but I think it's his woman, because she came over and then in the end he spoke to her and she was dancing with me as well, and he was like saying, oh, I think he told her to dance with me. I think he said, don't worry about her, she'll dance with you as well. But there was this other woman that was trying to dance with me. I don't know if she was a lesbian because she was with this other woman. But, you know, it's like, I'm trying to be a bit friendly because I don't, you know, in general, I get on better with guys than women. So I tend to, like, not pay much attention to women at all. And I'm not a lesbian, and there are lesbians in that club. So I'm a bit like, are you a lesbian or not? I don't know. Or are you just being friendly girl? And so, because girls there are quite friendly anyway. So I did a bit of dancing with her, but, you know, only a little bit. But it does freak me out a little bit because in my mind, I'm like, are you lesbian or are you just being friendly? And there were some other girls that would dance me a little bit, you know, like not close, obviously. But yeah, so I think you have to learn skills, and one of the relationship skills I definitely want to learn is the art of detachment, so I don't get attached to guys. And I was thinking to myself today, right, I can't get a relationship at the moment, it's not happening, and the only reason I really want a relationship at the moment, or well, need one, because I don't need one, is because I love kissing. But then if I get kissing like that, like tonight, then I don't need to worry, do I? Because I've had some kissing, never see the guy again in my life. Maybe a little bit of shame because he was Indian, but, you know, he's not the guy for me if I don't ever see him again. And that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I'm cool with that. Because like I said, I mean, in general, I usually prefer a guy without facial hair. But I had the most wonderful night of my life. It was amazing, you know. I got everything I wanted out of the night, really. Yeah, and it was just incredible. And it was so wonderful to just feel that experience from a guy where he's just so into me and he couldn't give a toss about any other woman. And it's good, like, as we're going along in our own asexual journey and as we want to have a relationship, it's good to learn relationship skills, which the art of detachment is a relationship skill. You know, like, I used to be very, very attached years ago. I used to be able to not be able to even live without a guy, which clearly I can do now. I've been living on my own for years. So I want to make sure that I learn the art of detachment. If I do end up, I mean, I can't just kiss anyone. You have to bear in mind, so far, I've only been able to be close to Indian guys. You know, physically close and, like, kissing a guy tonight because he's Indian. I'm cool with that because I believe I'm meant to be with an Indian guy, you know? I'm not saying every Indian guy, but, you know, it just seems different for me. Because it's good for me because I feel comfortable, I feel happy, I am enjoying myself, you know. And I think it's really important skill to have is detachment. You've got to learn the art of detachment, especially in the 21st century. We're not dating or having a relationship back in the good old days, you might want to call it, where people actually took relationships more seriously. Sadly, today, not as many people take relationships seriously, right? And that is sad, but there's going to be the right guy for me, just like it's going to be the right person for you. There's going to be the right guy. This Indian guy did exactly what I wished he would do tonight. Like, I was like praying to God, like, if this is the guy that's right for me, he'll just come over to me. And I'm like, wow. And it was just amazing. And it was just like everything I wanted in terms of the kissing and stuff, you know, because it's very difficult when you're asexual and you love kissing so much. And nearly every asexual guy you come across doesn't want to kiss very much. Or if they do, they're on the much more sexual end of the spectrum and they'll try and start taking your clothes off and stuff. And a lot of them are older guys. I'm not interested in older guys. I can't be with an older guy. I just don't find them aesthetically attractive. I've tried. You know, I have been with one older foreign guy who looked younger, right? So I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but I deserve to be with someone who I really want to be with, who lights up my world, who I really aesthetically attracted to, and he's the age group that I want to be. And I want you to encourage you to never give up on your dreams and to always fight for what you want in life and to get the relationship that you want, you know? I believe the right guy's out there for me. I do believe he's Indian. Every single time I always go back to the fact he's got to be Indian. I hope to God he is asexual, but maybe he isn't. Maybe he's heterosexual. And then we've got a bit of an issue, haven't we? We've got the do I have sex or don't I have sex issue? Because to be quite frank, I don't want to have sex ever again in my life. And unless I can find an Indian guy that can be okay without sex ever, it's going to be very difficult for me. So I'm going to park it because I do believe that there should be an asexual Indian guy for me, because I am asexual, and I found out in 2014 that I was asexual, the same year as I found out I'm meant to be with an Indian guy, right? So it does lend itself to being like asexual and Indian going together, you know. So I hope that I find that asexual Indian guy, the guy that doesn't need sex, you know. But I just had the most wonderful time tonight, and I just, you know, I want you to know that dreams can come true, that you can pray and you can wish for something and you can make it happen. Like if I didn't go out tonight, that wouldn't have happened. So you have to understand that you have to take action in order to get what you want in life. It's no good saying I want this, but I was thinking categorically in my mind later, I'm thinking, okay, Sandra, you're not getting a relationship at the moment. It's not happening, right? It's not happening. But why should you go without kisses? Why is, you know, the only reason you really need to be with a guy, because I don't need to be with a guy because it's not healthy to need to be with anyone, right? But the only reason I need to be with a guy is because kissing yourself, there's only so much you can do, right? You know, I kind of like a bloke for that eventually, you know, because like I said, there's only so much kissing you can do for yourself. You can't really do the really passionate snogging that much in the same way as kissing a guy, right? So, you know, just to experience that. So I thought to myself lately, okay, let's take a different view of this, Sandra. Let's think you're not going to be in a relationship for a while, maybe not ever, but you're not going to be in a relationship for a while anyway. Go out, have fun. If the opportunity arises for kissing a guy and it's someone you want to kiss, then go for it. So I'd already planned that in my head. Like, I don't know if you believe in the law of attraction, right? But the law of attraction is you wish something to be and you think about it happening and you kind of like visualize it or think about it in your head before it even happens. And then you kind of like, don't force it, don't put pressure on it, but just think what would be great right now. And this is what I thought. I thought to myself recently, I thought, okay, I can't get a relationship at the moment. It's not happening. So why even keep thinking about relationships anymore? That doesn't work for me. So maybe I need to be more like other people, not so worried about getting a relationship and just going out, having a good time dancing. If I meet a guy and I want to kiss him, which is usually an Indian guy, then I can snog him or kiss him if I want, because I can look after myself. I'm very safety conscious. I can take good care of myself. I've lived with myself for years, you know. I'm very street worthy. I'm very good with boundaries, you know. Of course a heterosexual guy pushes them a bit, you know, but I'm aware that with being with an Indian guy, like close to an Indian guy, I'm okay with that, you know. I'm okay being physically close to an Indian guy usually. I'm not saying every Indian guy, but I'm usually okay because they're Indian, right? And so I already know that beforehand, you know, that I feel safe usually. It's really weird. Obviously it's meant to be. But yeah, I am a bit concerned in terms of if I was thinking about, you know, his screensaver. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I've done nothing wrong. I'm single. He came in on his own. He did actually, because I asked him when I saw his screensaver, have you got a girlfriend? He did say no. So hopefully he was telling the truth. And, you know, that's it. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. You know, everything's good. And yeah, I just had the most amazing time of my life. So I'd encourage you to try different things. You know, I'm trying different things now. I'm not putting pressure on myself for a relationship anymore. I'm not thinking you've got to have a relationship. I'm thinking now, right, go out, enjoy yourself, and just be, you know, because I'm learning lots of skills while I'm going out dancing. I'm around younger guys, my age group in their 20s, you know, my mindset, lifestyle age group. I can give a toss about a piece of paper on my birth certificate age. It's not who I am. You know, some people are fine about it, and other people are like, what's your birth certificate age? And I'm like, I couldn't care less. I don't say birth certificate age. I really couldn't care less. It's not who I am. I don't live my life by a piece of paper. If I could change that legally, I would, but I can't. So I've got to just accept that, right? And that's, you know, but I love being in a young environment. It lights me up. I cannot tell you how happy I was to dance tonight and be around guys in their 20s, or maybe, you know, some of them are probably a bit younger than that, you know, and just be around people who are just having a good time listening to foreign music, just really enjoying themselves and in the moment and living life, you know, because that's what life's all about. It's all about living your life and enjoying those precious moments. It's about, you know, lighting your world up. And in a way, I'm glad I've not got a boyfriend at the moment, because it's like I don't have to think about a guy. You know, I get relationship anxiety, so I'm thinking, fine, Sandra, maybe you for a while have to be single, snog some guys who are also single, not end up in a relationship or not intend to end up in a relationship with them, and, you know, be more young, free and single. Right, you haven't done that whole thing in your life, really. You know, you usually can't do stuff like that, so change yourself. Right, if what's, you know, going on, you're so focused on relationship, it's not working, you need to learn some skills, obviously, because sometimes in life, you know, you'll be shown a different path, you know, so you'll come across something in your life that's not you usually, but sometimes you have to change yourself, sometimes you have to adapt and develop and grow. This at the moment is lessons I'm learning. This is things I'm exploring that I've never explored before. I've never thought, I don't, you know, because I do prefer kissing in a relationship in general, right? But I know that at the moment it's not happening. So what do? I just sit at home thinking, I want to kiss, and got no one to kiss, feeling sorry for myself or whatever. No, I damn well get out there. I go and have a good time dancing. If someone comes along that I happen to want to kiss, then I can kiss them, because it's my mouth, it's my kissing. And it's up to me whether I do that or not, you know, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it like a favourite hobby. Why shouldn't I enjoy my hobby? Just because other people don't necessarily like that. I like my hobby. You know, kissing to me is like a hobby. It's one of the most thrilling, exciting things usually that I enjoy. And it's just really nice. And it was great. And not only that, it was a whole experience tonight. Like I said, it was the fact that he was so into me. And he had beautiful, you know, that beautiful brown hair that I love on an Indian guy, beautiful coloured skin. And he was wearing really smart, nice clothes. So he had a lot going on for him. And he was really attracted to me. And it's just really nice, you know, to feel that and to be felt like really, really attractive to an Indian guy who's clearly in his 20s, you know. And it's just amazing, because that's what I want, you know, that I do want a relationship like that eventually. But, you know, I think at the moment it's just good for me to learn some lessons, to be around someone, or be around guys, you know, younger guys who are more my age that I want to go for, and have these experiences, because, you know, you can learn a lot from them. And sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone and not just be so rigid, because I'm thinking to myself, well, because my focus is always on relationships, then I'm kind of missing out on the kissing. You know what I mean? Like reserving myself for the guy who might come along or might never come along in my life is just a bit stupid. Do you know what I mean? In terms of kissing, because it's, you know, it's just a bit silly, because it's like, as an asexual person, you know, it's hard sometimes to find your right asexual match, you know? And if I didn't like kissing so much, then I'd agree it doesn't matter. But because I like physical kissing and affection, and it's just nice to have that warmth experience sometimes, you know, it can be good, so long as you are certain about what you want and you're positive and you know your boundaries and you know how to enforce them, and, you know, you tell a guy what you want and don't want, and, you know, you just look after yourself as well. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, this guy vapes as well, and I don't know if my throat's going to get really sore now, because obviously I didn't know he vaped, you know? I couldn't taste smoke on him. So, you know, but he said he stopped smoking, but he vapes now. So I don't know if my throat's going to get sore. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but that will be very interesting, because, you know, I prefer a guy who doesn't smoke at all. You know what I mean? When the guy says I gave up smoking but I vape, it's kind of like, well, you still smoke. You smoke vape, which is chemicals at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you know, when you're kissing, they can pass on to you. So maybe he's not really going to be a good guy for me anyway to be with, you know? And so maybe it's just as well if he doesn't contact me. But we'll wait and see. Wait and see if he contacts me. Because he didn't ask for my number, I'm guessing he's not going to contact me unless I message him first. Maybe that's my theory anyway, that, you know, if he wanted to keep in contact with me, he would have asked for my number. I wouldn't have had to tell him he can have my number. Do you know what I mean? But we will see. we will see. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share with you my wonderful night and to give you a bit of hope that, you know, that you can sometimes have moments in your life that are just amazing and perfect in that space and time, because that's what life is all about. You know, it's about living it in the moment as well, because, you know, anyone could die tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen. And it's very blunt, but it's true. You know, anyone can die tomorrow. Anyone can die in a second, just like that, right? And so, although it's good to plan for your future, it's also good to live in the now. It's really, really, really important, you know? And I felt so alive tonight, you know, because I haven't been out dancing in a while. I don't like being in an older environment. I really don't. It just makes my soul die when I'm in an older environment, to be quite honest with you. You know, when I'm in an environment that it's just old blokes there, 50 plus, and, you know, and it's kind of pubs and stuff. It's not really my thing. I'm into like dancing. I'm into clubbing. I'm into high octane energy stuff. I'm into like Spanish music. I'm into like, you know, feeling good and enjoying myself. You know, and I need to get more into doing what makes me happy. You know, when I was off sick with the respiratory infection, you know, it gave me time to think. I had to rest, and it's like, what do you really want to do with your life? You know, in terms of like looking after you, you know, and one of the things is I need to go out dancing. I can't really go out dancing every week as such, but like twice a month would be ideal, really. But I kind of like the cinema as well. So like once or twice a month dancing and the cinema. You know, it's really important because it's good for my body. It's good for the self-esteem. It's good for the confidence, because obviously, you know, before I went, I was getting a bit freaked out because obviously I still have some anxiety in my life. You know, if you didn't know, I used to have a lot of anxiety years ago. I used to be diagnosed with, well, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder level 4. But I've improved myself a lot, you know, over the years. And it was just like, you know, it's just really good for confidence. Like, I'm just there dancing, loving it. And it's really good when you're out to say to yourself, you know, positive stuff. And when you're walking. So when you have anxiety, right, and you're going out on your own, it can be a scary thing, you know. And because I haven't done dancing for a while, for a few months, I think it is now, it can be like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm walking on my own. It's like, you know, but it was still like there was loads of traffic around. So that made me really, really happy. So I've got an itchy nose. So basically, yeah, so, you know, if I was to give you some safety tips, right, one is to obviously, you know, like try and go where always there's light, you know, go on main roads, don't go down alleyways, try and go if it's dark where there is actual traffic still. So when I went out tonight, I went there earlier than I normally do, and there was lorries around, there was loads of traffic, so that made me really happy. And also, if you're wearing, because obviously I'm wearing this, which is not exactly the most unsexy thing in the world, you know, guys do find it sexy. I just find this dress really comfortable for dancing, to be honest with you. And so, you know, I'm aware that, you know, this can look quite sexy. So I put a long, thin, coat, like a raincoat over me. So you wouldn't even know I got this outfit on. And that's kind of more good for safety and protection. You just look like you're a person walking, home or somewhere. Do you know what I mean? You don't look like you're about to go out clubbing and you're wearing sexy gear. So if you're an asexual and you want to avoid like unwanted attention, or just for safety, you know, because instead of guys out on the streets looking at your body, just cover up. Like, I take a long thin raincoat because I can put it on afterwards if I want, and it keeps me covered up till I get there, and then I can just fold it up and put it in my bag, on top of my bag, because it stops people peering in as well, which is good when you're dancing, because you have to dance near your bag. You don't want to be carrying a huge bag and dancing with it at the same time. So I just have my bag near me, but not actually fully on me, if you know what I mean. So, you know, that's a good safety tip. And, you know, make sure you book a taxi to get home. So if any people do, you know, like try and get you to have a lift with them or go home with them, you know, you can just say my taxi's coming and stay around till your taxi comes and go off in the taxi. It's really, really, really important for your safety. You know, don't worry about other people, worry about yourself, you know, and have a plan. Like, I had a clear plan in my head. I had a clear plan that if I was to meet a guy, particularly Indian, who I wanted to kiss and snog, I would do that. And it happens to be that my dream came true and I was able to do that. So I'd already planned that out. So when you plan something out, it lowers your anxiety because you're more in control of the situation. You already knew what you wanted out of the situation before it even happened. And so, and also it's important you tell yourself, like I was telling myself up the street, I've looked after myself for years. I can look after myself. I'll take good care of myself. You have to be like your own coach. So before I was going out, I was like, I'm really scared. I haven't been out for ages. It's dark. Oh my God, it's cold. What am I going to do? Do you really want to go out? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yes, of course I want to go out. And then my voice takes over and it's like, it's okay, Sandra. I will look after you. I promise. And sometimes you have to be your own coach. You have to have that person in your head that's actually your own coach yourself telling you, I'll look after you. I'll take care of you. I've took care of you all these many years. I lived on my own for 15 years. I'm too young for all this, obviously. But, it's like you've taken care of yourself for 15 years. I'm sure you can take care of yourself for one night, especially when you've taken precautions. As in, there's traffic coming, there's traffic's going to be there. As in, you're covered up. As in, I've even got my panic alarm in my pocket of my raincoat. Do you know what I mean? So it's really important that you talk to yourself and do a lot of positive self-talk, because negative energy attracts negative energy. So the last thing you want to do is be thinking negative stuff and walk along doing that, because that's not good. I'll sometimes do have negative stuff and I have to switch it around thinking, no, you're going to be happy, you're going out dancing, you're going to love it, you're going to be excited, you're going to be confident, you're going to be alive, it's going to be a great experience for you, you can look after yourself, you're very street worthy, you're very streetwise, you've taken good care of yourself for years, you can do this. And so it's really important you give yourself positive self-talk all the way in situations of anxiety. Talk to yourself and think about the good things that are going to happen. Be confident and think about the positive outcomes from it. When I was dancing for the most of at least half of the night on my own, I was dancing, like I said, in front of a mirror. I was dancing with the best person to dance with in the whole of the night, which was myself, and when I dance in front of a mirror, my dance moves tend to be better as well. And I'm just enjoying myself and I'm literally smiling at myself, loving myself. And that's so important when you're out, people like can see someone who's confident. So the more confident you are, the less like you are to attract people who aren't so good for you. Because, like I've got quite big muscles. I mean, look at this for a girl. Do you know what I mean? Like if I tell a guy, don't do that, the majority of guys, like even tonight, sometimes to him I said, no, and he's like, oh, like this straight away, because he knows that I'm a strong, powerful woman. And he's pushing, it's going to push his look a bit, but what I mean, he knows that he'll like, whoa, like this, do you know what I mean? And they'll carry on kissing me and doing stuff that I want him to do. So it's very important that you work out in your head like what you're going to do, have positive self-talk, go there, be bold, be brave. I dance in front of everyone and don't care. You have to think, doesn't matter what people say, doesn't matter if people laugh at you or talk about you or start copying your dancing. All you need to think is if they're copying your dancing, they're obviously attracted to your dancing. It obviously stands out. If they're talking about you, they're obviously on your mind. You'll be being the center of their attention, not themselves. I know some people, they say stuff about me sometimes, I can see it, or they're laughing, or a lot of them want to join me rather than laugh. Actually, girls want to dance with me for some reason. They come up behind me and stuff like that. I think I got a bit more attention from girls in the beginning than I did from guys, actually. It's like I'm really not a lesbian. I really, really am not attracted to women whatsoever. I don't want to snog them. I don't want to be close up with them. I don't want to touch them. Really, I'm not interested in women. But I kind of thought, well, as I don't usually pay much attention to women, I usually get on better with guys. Maybe I should try and develop my being a bit more friendly to women type of skills, and maybe dance a little bit with them and smile at them. And that's really important when you're out on your own, like in that situation. You don't want to be making eye contact with a guy. If you're a woman and you like guys, you don't want to be making eye contact with a guy that you don't want to come over and dance with you. You just don't. If a guy looks at you, like if a guy looks at me, there was a guy there and I didn't want him to come over to me. I could see he was looking at me a little bit and I was like, you're not Indian and you've got a bit of facial stubble and I just don't really like the look of you. I don't think you're a really horrible person. You're not really my type. So I just was careful to quickly switch my eyes around, because obviously if you're asexual, you know, and you don't pick up on these social cues, you don't always understand. But basically, if your eyes attracted to someone, you know, like if you look up and you see this person looking in your eyes and they're kind of like looking over you like this, that is a sign that they want to come and dance with you, and that they're trying to find out if you want to dance with them. It's like a body language thing, so you've got to read that. And so if you don't want it, you immediately turn around, turn your back on the person, or turn your eyes away, your face away, and look at something else. So I know all this type of stuff, you know. I've been, you know, I've been in heterosexual relationships for half of my life, so I know all this type of stuff. I know what to look out for. You know, I'm very quite clued up on social cues, you know. And there are some guys where the good thing about dancing in mirrors, you can see if the guys are looking at you behind you. You can see if women are looking at you behind you. So dance in front of me, but I end up snogging the guy in front of a mirror, which most people would have been able to, like, not only see us snog, but see us double snog, because they can see us snogging in the mirror as well, which is probably weird for people, but never mind. They were all dancing with the music anyway, and who cares, right? I'm having a great time. And like I said, you've got to live for the moment and not worry about what people think all the time, you know? It's just like, you've got to enjoy life, you know? You've really got, I mean, the two lesbians, they didn't give a toss. And they were really, like, the whole mouth was around the other person. And I'm like, oh, well, it's good, you know? It's good to see two women doing that, not just having heterosexuals all the time do it. Because, you know, people, I think it's nice that, you know, people who aren't heterosexual can have spaces that they can feel comfortable, that they can snog their partner, that are not going to get their face punched in or not going to get some abuse or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Because there are gay guys that go there as well that snog and stuff like that. So it's good. It's a good club because there's hetero people there, there's gays there, there's lesbians there. So, you know, it's not just a set sexual orientation there. And everyone's just really enjoying the music, really enjoying dancing with each other, really enjoying the vibe. And I think that's really good. I think that's very, 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 very healthy, you know? I think it's really important to be around a mixture of people. And the more you're around that, the more you get used to it. And I think it's very good for heterosexuals to see that not everyone is heterosexual. You know, some people are lesbian, gay. Unfortunately, you know, I haven't got a big t-shirt saying I'm asexual. But even if I did have a big t-shirt saying asexual, probably all the guys would think it means I'm highly sexual, which I'm not. So it's probably a good job I don't take that type of thing there. But you know, I just had the most amazing time of my life. And you know, I think as long as you stay safe, you plan in advance what you want to happen, and you know, it's good for me, right? Because I may never see that guy again, but I had a brilliant night in and of itself. And I think that's what I have to do until I find the right guy and the right guy comes into my life. There's no point in waiting. If I want to snog a guy, I snog a guy, and maybe I'll just find out that that's satisfying enough and I won't need a relationship so much, which is the idea. And maybe I can just be single for a very, very long time, even, and be more happy being single because I can get my snogging and then don't have the hassle or worry of being in a relationship. Having said that, I would love to be in a relationship with an Indian guy, to be quite honest, because it just feels different. I cannot describe how different it feels. It doesn't feel like a drain on my energy. It doesn't feel like a normal slog. It just feels right being with an Indian guy. Do you know what I mean? I cannot describe the feeling. It just feels like a whole different type of relationship, not a normal, boring relationship. It just feels like amazing. I cannot describe. Obviously, I'm not having a relationship with this guy, but just to like hold this guy, it was just so affectionate as well. You know, like if you're a romantic asexual and you don't like sex, but you just want all the kissing and cuddling. I mean, it's just so wonderful. You know, and I loved the fact that when the lights went on, that he was still snogging me. And then when he went out, he was like putting his hand on my back to make sure I was safe through the crowds and like putting my arm in his arm and even holding my hand a little bit. And it was just so beautiful. And he was even giving me some more kisses outside. And it's just, you know, I know that he's highly aesthetically attracted to me, despite, you know, any maybe age difference he thought I might be, you know. And so that's just wonderful for me. Really, really wonderful. I just had the night of my life, and I think you just got to cherish these moments forever, you know. It's just wonderful. And I wanted to share it with you because you can tell I'm so happy. I was just, you know, when you're in that moment, right, because you know it might not last, it might not ever happen again. You've just kind of got to, like, with the person, I was just holding him tight, he was holding me tight, and it's just like, you know, you actually consciously think this is a beautiful moment. I'm loving being with this person. I'm loving experience this affection, this warmth, this romance, this embrace, this kissing, this closeness without sex, you know. and I'm enjoying putting my hands through his hair. It's nice that he likes me touching his chest and back, and he feels good about that. And it was just really, really nice. And the fact he could never take his eyes off me and wasn't into any other woman. I mean, you can't really get a more perfect night than that. Maybe he tried to touch places I wasn't really into being touched. But I mean, really, I don't even notice. That's the thing when I'm with Indian guys. I think sometimes they do touch a bit of stuff and I don't even notice because I'm quite comfortable, actually. And sometimes I'm like trying to make myself aware of it because I'm like forcing myself to think, is he doing anything he shouldn't be doing? Because I shouldn't be letting him do this. But to be honest, sometimes I don't even notice if they're doing some stuff so much, not because I'm not consciously aware of myself, but just because it's not full on. Like I make sure the guy doesn't full on touch my breast, but if he's touching it aside a little bit, I don't really notice it that much. Do you know what I mean? Because I've got my clothes on anyway. And so, I just had the most amazing time. So I would really encourage you to try different things to make sure that if you go out by yourself, that, you use it as gaining more skills. You work out exactly a strategy of what you want to do before you go out. You work out the most safety that you can take and precautions over yourself to make sure you're as safe as possible. You work out the type of people that if you do want to be close to someone, they're the type of person you can handle. Like I knew this guy I could handle, right? I know that I'm strong enough physically to handle with him. He's not going to do anything to me that's really bad. But there's been some guys, there's been a guy there, like I told you, there's this older guy, and he was grabbing me 3 times, and I told him no. And he went off in a huff, and then I saw him another time, and he was over the other side of the room. I don't want to be near that guy. I do not like guys like this. This guy, if I said don't touch that, he's like, like this, quick, put my hands up. Sorry, like, it doesn't mean to say he's not going to try it again, but he's like, which isn't great, but it's kind of like, oh, okay, she's told me no. Do you know what I mean? And so that's fine. He didn't go off in a huff. He didn't get funny about it. He didn't get stroppy about it. It was just like, okay, I'll carry on kissing you and doing stuff you do like. Because I said I like you kissing me. I thought I should make it clear. It's pretty obvious I did, but I thought I should make it clear of what I do like. So he's got some idea. But I just love this. He did this to my hair, like really gently. It was so sweet. And so yeah, I liked him a lot in terms of like the night. It was wonderful. It was so romantic, so affectionate. I think when you're asexual and you don't get to experience all this affection and closeness, we really crave sometimes, and it's only natural. Some people don't get it. They're like, oh, if you don't want sex in a relationship, then you don't want a real relationship. And why do you want kissing? And why do you want affection? And why do you want to be close? I mean, it's obvious. It's human nature to want to connect with people. It's human nature to want some love, affection, and warmth sometimes. Yes, you can give yourself it. You can give yourself immense love, affection, attention, and you should always do that. So that, like, for example, this guy tonight, if I never see him again in my life, it is okay because I love myself. I pay myself attention. I'm very confident as much as possible. I always try to increase my confidence. I love myself to bits. I think I look good for me. And I'm really happy in and of myself. Do you know what I mean? So, but it doesn't stop the fact that I do want a guy sometimes to kiss and to hold close. Like, I love it when he put his head on my shoulder and held me close. And, and he like kissing my nose and stuff like that. I love being kissed. He kissed all over my face. He even kissed my eyes at one point. God knows how he didn't get eyeshadow all over his lips. He's like kissing my eyes. I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. You're kissing on my face. I love my face being kissed because obviously I'm not sexual. I don't want my genitalia to be having stuff to do with in a nightclub. Do you know what I mean? It's not on. But if he's kissing my face and my ears and even my neck, I'm fine with. It's all good. Do you know what I mean? So, I really understand you. If you're an asexual and you really want that warmth, that affection, and you crave and you miss that, it's okay. I want you to know it's okay. There are people out there that won't understand it. There are people out there that don't get it, right? They just don't understand. But it's natural, and especially because asexuals can be single and on their own for a very, very long number of years, and sometimes you just want some physical affection. Sometimes you just want the kissing, the cuddling. Sometimes you just want to hold hands with someone. Sometimes you just want to cuddle someone and be really close to them, to feel the warmth of them, not in a sexual way, but in the most, romantic, affectionate, cute, kind, cuddly way, because it's like really sweet. Do you know what I mean? And so there's nothing wrong in that. There's absolutely nothing wrong in that. You just have to be sure that you know your boundaries, that you're aware of, that you might not get a relationship out of the thing that you want to do. But you don't have to be like me. You don't have to go and snog someone in a club that you don't even know. Like, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. But if you do that, don't feel bad about it. At the end of the day, it's in a controlled environment. There's security guards there. There's people around you. It's not like you're doing it in dark alley somewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's in an environment which is public. Do you know what I mean? And there's security guard people there. It's kind of a secure environment. It's much better than finding someone randomly somewhere and going off with them somewhere down an alleyway. Do you know what I mean? It's a much better environment to do that with. There's much more safety in there. So, go and live your life for you. Some people they just won't understand you. Like, sometimes my parents, to be quite honest, I love them to bits, but they just don't get it. They're like, oh, but they've been together for 50 years. Like, they've been married for 50 years. I'm so proud of them for that. And they don't really show affection in public. They don't kiss in front of me. They don't kiss in front of other people. That's them. They both like that. So that's good, because it works for them, because they're both like that. They both love being like that. And that is great for them. But I'm not them. I'm different to them. I'm opposite to them in a lot of ways. And sometimes they just don't get why I would want to kiss a guy I don't know and stuff. Because, why do people want to talk to people they don't know? Why do people want to join groups online and they don't know people? Why does anyone want to know anyone or do anything with anyone? You could say, do you know what I mean? Live like a hermit. You know what I mean? And they don't quite understand, like, why I like some, like, physical affections sometimes. I don't think they quite get that. But my mum's really nice. She said, I want you to find a nice guy for you, which is really, really sweet of her. So she does understand on some level, that I really like that. And she does want me to get a good guy for me. So that's really nice. Thank you, Mum. So, I know it's different because they're a different generation. They don't quite really, they're very supportive of my asexuality, but I don't think they quite fully understand it. Especially the fact I like snogging and stuff like that. They're like, oh, if you don't like sex and you're asexual, then why do you like doing this, that, and the other? It's because, like, asexuals can't be fitted into a box. We're not all the same. And sexual behavior is not the same as sexual attraction. I don't experience any sexual attraction, but my behavior could look like sexual to an outsider. But I don't feel sexual about it. I don't think sexually about it. I don't think of, I want to have sex with someone. Do you see what I mean? It's a completely different thing, which people who are not asexual can't really understand, because it kind of breaks their thinking. It breaks kind of the norms of what people have been taught in their life. So it's kind of difficult for people to get their head around, but I'm here to tell you that it's okay that, if you do need physical affection, obviously there's things like hugging groups. I don't just want to go to a hugging group and hug random people. I actually don't want that. That might sound very contradictory with what I've just said, but I'm very specific. In a club, there's only certain people I would kiss. An Indian guy, basically. It's like, I haven't so far met another guy that I can kiss or want to kiss, really. Maybe if it was a guy that looked like an Indian guy from Sri Lanka, or maybe if he was Pakistan, or, maybe it would be possible, right? But there's a certain type of look I specifically like. And I just knew, like, it was just really weird the way it all worked out tonight. Like, the wish that this guy would come over and, like, dance with me and kiss me dead. And it was just amazing, because it literally, like, when he came over, like I said, I wasn't sure if he wanted to dance with other women, because there's some other women around him, and he was kind of dancing a little bit, wasn't really dancing with them. And as soon as he saw me, that was it. Not interested in anyone else at all whatsoever. I'm like, this is great. I mean, it is like a woman's dream come true if you're a monogamous girl. Do you know what I mean? It's like a guy that's and if you love kissing, like I do, it's like a guy who's not looking around at any other women, fully into you, fully paying attention to you, fully trying to make you really happy with the kisses he gives you, being sweet and cute at the same time, being really soft and gentle with my hair, which I love. Really, really can't get enough of kissing me. Like, seriously, I thought he wants to kiss even more than I do. You know what I'm like? I'm like, wow, this guy doesn't even want to come up for air. This is good. You know, and of course, like, the more you kiss each other, the more you kind of want to kiss each other. So, like, if for like half a minute the other person's not kissing you, if you love kissing each other, you're kind of like, oh, quick, we better start snogging again now. So it was just really nice. We didn't really come up for air very much. It was just great. I absolutely loved it. And, you know, his skin was so beautiful. His hair was so nice. So I absolutely loved it. I've had the time of my life. I doubt I can even go to sleep now. You know, I'm so hyper off this. You know, I'm so, like, elated. You can tell it's like a dream come true for me. You know, just imagine you are wanting something for, like, a long period of time. You know, I've wanted to kiss an Indian guy since 2014. 2014, that's 5 years I've waited to kiss an Indian guy. And yes, I prefer it in a relationship, but I decided lately, right, it's maybe not going to happen for a very long time, if it ever does, right? And so, rather than focusing on relationships now, I'm focusing on enjoying my life, getting more confidence and other skills, learning the art of detachment, and open to kissing a guy not in a relationship with me if he's a guy that I feel safe around and that I want to kiss. And I think that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's not harming anyone, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, especially if I'm not getting attached to the person. You know, if I'm not getting attached to the person, it's fine, isn't it? It only becomes a problem if I got attached to the person. But just kissing him for one night, which I don't really know anything about him. You see, when I was kissing him, I didn't really know anything about him. Like, we didn't really talk to each other. Like, he was just kissing, apart from I asked him, which country are you from? And he said India, because I wanted it confirmed. I pretty much, you know, I knew he was from India, but I just wanted him to confirm it. I just wanted to hear him say I'm Indian just to confirm it. I say something, I just go, oh, brilliant. You know, and then it was only afterwards when we were going out, I asked him, he goes, oh, I live near here, just up the road. And I said, oh, whereabouts? And he told me, and I said, where do you work? And he told me where he worked. He's got a good job, actually. So that was really impressive. And he just treated me well when we were going out, you know, of the building and out to my taxi. So, yeah, but we hardly talk. So you don't really, that's why you can be detached more from the person, because if you don't get much information about them, which might sound a bit weird, like I've full on snogged a guy and shared some intimate moments with someone I don't even know. But, you know, if you don't want to be if you want to be attached to a person, if you want to remain detached, then don't go down that rabbit hole. You know, don't go around asking loads of questions and developing this emotional connection and attachment to the person, because it's not going to do you any good if they literally just want to snog like you do, and that's all there is to it. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I obviously can connect with Indian guys really quickly. I'm obviously very able to be physically close to them, or the ones I choose to be, you know, so that is really unusual, but it's good, because it's just like, honestly, if people saw us, they'd be like, oh, they must know each other. They must have known each other for years, because that's how we were acting. Like, it was all just perfectly fitting together, like our arms around each other and holding each other tight and just kissing. It's just like, I'm so glad he wanted to kiss me. It's so good. It's so good. And so I got, finally, after 5 years, I got to, well, over 5 years, because it was like April, May time I found out I was asexual. I think it was like, I think it was October I first found out about meant to be with an Indian guy. So yeah, it's been just over 5 years now, and you know, an Indian guy in his 20s with beautiful coloured skin, with nice clothes. It's just my dream, you know, and one who loves snogging me all the time. I was just like, my dream come true. And so, like, 5 years later, by doing something different, by going out, which I could have decided to stay at home because I could have let anxiety get the better of me, but I didn't, you know, and by, you know, being available for him to come over to me, and actually, like, we quickly ended up being very intimate with each other, then it was just all meant to be. Do you know what I mean? You have to sometimes take opportunities in life, which might come out as risky, but just minimize the risk, right? Just minimize the risk, you know, so long as you're sensible about things and you know, you're safety conscious. And you know, like, I wouldn't go round being close to a guy if I thought he was going to be like really bad for me, or, you know, be forceful and I can't get away from him and stuff like that. You know, I wouldn't be being intimate with a guy like that, because he'd be trouble. Do you know what I mean? when I'm there, a lot of the time I'm dancing with myself. I don't make eye contact with a lot of guys unless I like one. I liked the Indian guy, but it's really weird because when I looked at him come in, I kind of like looked across, but he wasn't looking at me. He was looking forward with his WKD in his hand. And it was only when he turned round that he must have seen me and then come near me. So that was really weird. But it's like, isn't it amazing when you can think about something in your mind and then it manifests itself exactly as you want it? Boom. So I just think it's amazing. Intuition and knowledge is power, and it's just incredible. It's just incredible. So don't let anyone tell you dreams can't come true. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't think of something, wish it in it to happen. But I've taken a different tact, you see. Instead of being like, oh, I've got to be in a relationship to do this, I'm now thinking, well, no, Sandra, because if you keep putting that constraint on yourself, it means every guy that you kiss who might be bad for you in the end in terms of a relationship, you're going to like be attached to and want a relationship with just for the pure fact you've kissed them and don't believe that you should be kissing outside a relationship. So either I don't kiss out of a relationship or I do, and then I accept that it's okay for me to do that while I'm single outside of a relationship. So that's fine. So that's what I decided. I've just decided to do something differently, and it's okay for me to kiss guys outside a relationship while I'm single because, you know, I'm single. So why not? And, you know, I might never get to be in a relationship. I might be better off being single because I do have relationship anxiety. Whereas, you know, just kissing a guy and never seeing him again is okay because I'm not having a relationship with him. So maybe that's actually better for me at the moment. Maybe it's actually better for me long term. You know, I don't have to worry about a guy. If he wasn't being honest with me, it's his problem, not mine. And everything's good. So sometimes in life, I think you have to change yourself, develop, grow, try new strategies, try doing different stuff. And yeah, I got a good snog tonight for a long period of time. And it was someone who was really into me. So it felt absolutely amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna have to leave the live stream. I don't want to. I can just talk about my incredible night all night long. Seriously, I could just talk about it all night long. I might go and stream somewhere else on Facebook or something because I'm just so excited and happy about it. I just so enthralled. It's amazing. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button down below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified every time I go live right now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please give it some like love. Please give it some like love. It helps get these videos higher up in search engine rankings. Until next time, embrace your quirky and each other. I'll see you on the next video live stream. I probably might not do one later on today because I've done one already now. So yeah, lots of love to you, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.